he's going to choose a Chancellor. It might be you, it might not be you. What would your advice be to anyone in the future taking on the role as Chancellor?
I'm not sure if anyone wants my advice, but my advice would be you've got a brilliant set of officials at the Treasury who will back you if you are clear about what you want to do. And I've been very clear about what I wanted to achieve as Chancellor. I wanted to restore stability to the economy. I wanted to boost investment, both public and private, into the economy. And I wanted to change how the economy works with a regulatory burden that is fairer and more efficient, with a planning system that actually allows things to get built in our country, sticks to what I'm doing because it is beginning to bear fruit. And we are seeing that investment return to the economy, that growth return to the economy, and crucial.
Picture this. A Chancellor stands up in front of Britain's business elite and basically says, yes, I know the rumours. No, I'm not going anywhere. And also, here's my mate Andy Burnham. Please make him Prime Minister. That actually happened. Let's unpack it. Quick favour, if you're enjoying this, smash that subscribe button and tap the bell. Over 90% of you watching haven't yet. It costs nothing, takes 2 seconds and means the world to this channel. Right, back to the chaos.
I'm really interested to talk a bit more about the fiscal discipline side of things, which obviously has been a big part of your chancellorship. But, you know, you've come out there and addressed the elephant in the room. You're saying that Andy Burnham is going to be the next Prime Minister. Do you want to be his Chancellor?
Well, those would be choices for him. I'm not going to preempt those. When he becomes Prime Minister, he will make those decisions around the top team around him. But I'm not going to preempt that. Those are his decisions.
I might ask a slightly different way. Do you feel you have unfinished business as Chancellor then?
Well, I'm really proud of my record, and I think in those 2 years, if you look at, first of all, those key macro numbers on inflation, on interest rates, on economic growth, the fact that wages have risen faster than inflation for every single month that I've been Chancellor of the Exchequer, the fact that for the first time since 2019 we've got government borrowing below 5% of GDP, 4.2% in the last year, reflects the choices I've made. But much more than that, the changes to the fiscal rules that I made as soon as I became Chancellor unlocked £120 billion.
So Rachel Reeves stood on stage at the British Chambers of Commerce conference like a woman with absolutely nothing to prove, which, considering the whispers about her job security, takes some nerve. Her opening gambit? Stability. 6 interest rate cuts, inflation cooling down like a cup of tea nobody remembered to drink, and Britain posting the fastest growth in the entire G7 at the start of last year. Not bad for someone people keep trying to write off.
And you obviously know Andy Burnham really well, right? You've said that you're backing him to be the next Prime Minister, and you've gone further today. You've said that he will be the next Prime Minister. Where do your agendas and Andy Burnham's agendas align, would you say?
I backed Andy in 2015 as well to be leader of our party, and I've known him for more than a decade and a half, since before I became a Member of Parliament in 2010. So we've worked closely together, but particularly worked closely together the last 2 years. So one of the first big announcements that I made as Chancellor was in regional transport investment, £15.6 billion of regional transport, of which some of that went to Greater Manchester. And we made that announcement at a bus manufacturer in Rochdale, in Andy's old patch as Mayor of Greater Manchester. And that money is being used for investment in the B network of buses, but also an extension of the tram system to Southport, to Bury and other parts of Greater Manchester. So we work very closely together on that. We've worked very closely together on the Transpennine route upgrade, which of course is electrifying trains between Manchester and Leeds and beyond, and now Northern Powerhouse Rail, and working closely with Andy on the configuration of that, including the new station at Manchester Piccadilly. So work very closely together on devolution and regional investment.
But here's where it gets properly interesting. Borrowing has dropped to its lowest level since before the pandemic, and Reeves is adamant this isn't luck, it's discipline. Her fiscal rules, love 'em or loathe them, freed up a jaw-dropping £120 billion for investment. Nuclear power at Sizewell C, small reactors in Anglesey, carbon capture up north, plus transport upgrades stretching from Manchester to the Oxford-Cambridge corridor. Basically, she's building Britain's engine room while everyone's distracted, arguing about who sits in number 10 next. And speaking of number 10, here's the plot twist nobody saw coming. Reeves didn't just tolerate questions about Andy Burnham replacing the Prime Minister, she actively backed him, publicly, practically handed him the keys. Why? Because according to her, they've been aligned for years on devolution, regional investment, and giving local leaders real fiscal power instead of begging Westminster for scraps. It's less passing the torch and more, here's the torch, the map, and my personal blessing.
Obviously been very proud of your record, and you've said that you hand the economy over in a better position to whoever becomes the next Prime Minister. Andy Burnham, I guess, is promising change. So he's promising something different. Do you accept that there does need to be change?
Well, we had very poor results in the local elections and the Scottish and Welsh elections just a few weeks ago. So clearly we need to do more to connect to the country, to tell a better story of what we've done in government, but also set out the vision for where we want the country to go. That is what Andy will be able to provide as our next Prime Minister. He is a great communicator. He's got a great track record in delivering in Manchester, and I've no doubt that he will bring that to the position of Prime Minister. And I look forward to working with him in whatever capacity.
Just on that, obviously he's going to choose a Chancellor. It might be you, it might not be you. What would your advice be to anyone in the future taking on the role as Chancellor?
I'm not sure if anyone wants my advice, but my advice would be you've got a brilliant set of officials at the Treasury who will back you if you are clear about what you want to do. And I've been very clear about what I wanted to achieve as Chancellor. I wanted to restore stability to the economy. I wanted to boost investment, both public and private, into the economy, and I wanted to change how the economy works with a regulatory burden that is fairer and more efficient, with a planning system that actually allows things to get built in our country, sticks to what I'm doing because it is beginning to bear fruit, and we are seeing that investment return to the economy, that growth return to the economy, and crucially...
So there you have it, a Chancellor defending her record, endorsing her successor, and betting her legacy on discipline actually paying off. Bold move in British politics, where legacies tend to age like unrefrigerated milk. Thanks so much for watching. Britain Unpacked appreciates every single one of you.